Okay, in this video we're checking out some pretty cool new tech here from FXT. This is the Smart Gesture Box, and this actually has a video transmitter and a camera in here. And the special thing about this is that it has gesture control, so you can use gestures to the camera to change your bands, channel, and power, I believe, as well as there's actually 6 scene modes or 6 presets in there, so you can change those just using your hand, so you don't have to pull out your joystick cable to change any of those settings, which is pretty amazing. This one here will come with a little micro video transmitter. This is the FX868T, and that one here is has PID mode, 25 milliwatts, 200 milliwatts. It has an MMCX connector, and then the camera that's included in this kit here is the Venus Pro. It's a little micro CMOS camera and has all these features. I already did a review on this one as well. I'll put links to that video down in the description and a little card in the corner. Let's go ahead and get this out of the box, and we got some instructions here. I'm going to probably have to read this to figure out how to use the gestures to get to basically to control the camera. I'm not sure if it's going to be all that intuitive or not. And this is what you get in the kit. Of course, they do include the traditional OSD controlled joystick as well. You get a Venus Pro camera, and I think this comes with a special, it might be special compared to the regular Venus Pro, so that you can use the gesture controlled video transmitter. Pull this out here. So we have in the back, yeah, so I thought, so you have the normal pin here, power, 4.8 volts to 36 volts ground video. Then you have the OSD controller, which is going to be for the main joystick here, and then you have another line called control. That one is going to be for the video transmitter. The video transmitter is actually what's allowing you to do the gesture controls, I believe. And then the rest of the stuff in the box, you get the little micro video transmitter there, it's pretty small, and then you get an MMCX connector adapter. Okay, it looks like you get quite a bit of stuff in here. Of course, you get your joystick, you get a little mounting bracket here, and then you get some mounting screws and washers and such, and you get a little extension cable here. Inside there you get 2 antennas, or 1 antenna with an MMCX connector. It's just a dipole antenna, and then you have a MMCX2, looks like SMA adapter, so for regular antenna on your craft. And then you got this cable here. I think this goes to the camera. So this is, I think this is going to be different from the standard Venus Pros. This is a special Venus Pro for this setup here with the gesture control. You get your pigtail here for the OSD controller joystick there. I think that's what this extra little pigtail or this extra extension cable is for here. So that cable go in here and then into the OSD controller. I'll set that up here in a second. This will plug into the camera here on this side, and then on this side we've got a little, this one's labeled control. So this one here, this white cable, is going to go to the video transmitter for that special gesture control stuff, and then this one here is going to be for your connector. I think this, yeah, this is, we'll look at the other connector that's on here. It's a little 3-pin connector for video, power, and ground, and this is what's coming out of here. So it looks like this is, yeah, it looks like a kind of a messy set of wires here, but special new feature. So you got power here for 5 volts only on the video transmitter. This connector here. Then you have this white line here for the, looks like that's for the gesture control to the camera. So I'm not sure if this is going to be compatible with any other cameras necessarily without this features, because this feature is coming from the video transmitter, it seems like. So you get this line here, that's going to go to the other cable, the white line, the other cable, and then this one here is going to plug in. This is the video power and ground from the video transmitter to that cable, which is then going to go to the camera. So I guess we'll just go ahead and plug that in here now. So this will connect together like this, and then these 2 connectors go together like so. This is how you would wire it up, like this. And to wire up the controller board here, you got this little pigtail here, this little extension wire here plugs into that, and then this plugs into the controller board. This is going to be for, I guess, for the other camera settings if you wanted, obviously, find control over the individual parameters of, like, you know, your image settings, that kind of stuff. We'll actually go over that as well. And of course then this end will go into the camera. So I'll plug in like that. And you're going to plug in your MMCX connector here. So I'm just going to plug this in. Just plug in the dipole antenna for now. Okay, and then finally, to power up this entire setup, I'm going to have to find some kind of a 5-volt power supply and plug it into this connector here. That'll power up the video transmitter, and then that'll send power to the camera, and then we can then start working on this. Okay, so I got this powered up and transmitting to an FPV monitor here. I'm going to go over first the changing of the settings via the controller joystick. Obviously, you're going to have more control this way versus the gesture method. And then I'll demonstrate the gesture method a little bit later in the video. Alright, so to get into the main menu, you just press the center button here. And I'm going to actually cover up the lens so you can see all the options. So you have FPV setup, exposure, day and night, image setup, function setup, factory, and save and exit. So if you go into FPV setup, this is the time, power on time. You have the actual voltage that's also on the screen, and then you can change the position. So there's only 2 things on the screen, and you can turn those off if you don't want those. And then under exposure, you have these values here. It's a little hard to read. That you can set your exposure values here. BLC options, so not a whole lot here. Day and night, currently set to, looks like black and white. You can change it to color or black and white. It's going to change it to color. Here under image setup, you've got color gain, mirror, gamma, sharpness, automatic white balance, and automatic gain control. So those are all the options you can change under here. And here under function setup, you can change the from camera from NTSC or PAL, and then the image scale is the aspect ratio. You can do 16:9. I think that's the native one, and 4:3 is also available. And then you can also change your language here. And then you can reset factory settings here. Saving as I'm going to say no. Okay, so to be able to change the different scene settings, I think there's like cloudy, indoor, sunny, light tracks, as there's 6 different ones there. You're going to press and cycle through the left button here. So you press the button, shows cloudy, indoor, light tracks, twilight, personal, and sunny. And so I'm going to actually set that to indoor. And then it'll start flashing at this point here, and then you have to wait, and then it will go away, and it actually changes the setting at that point. If you want to change the power output, you're going to press and cycle through the down button. So there's going to be 25 milliwatts, 200 milliwatts, 600 milliwatts, and pit mode. I'm going to leave it on 25 milliwatts, and it should start flashing here. That should save whatever setting you're choosing. Okay, and then the last thing you can do with the joystick is you can cycle through some frequency presets on your video transmitter, and you just hitting the up button here. And there's going to be sets here. You can preset these frequencies here. So there's frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it will cycle through those. And so there's 4 that are currently preset here. I'll go back to this is the one I'm transmitting on, so I'm going to leave it on 5860. I'll start flashing. But you can change those presets by going into here by pressing and holding the up button. And then this little grid here of all the frequencies that are available to you. You can go in here, and I think you just press the, then you press to the left, and then you'll go into the grid, and then you can change the value of that. I'm actually going to go to frequency 2 here, 5732, and then go to the left here. I'm going to change that to a different band. Let's go to band A, 5865, and then press the center button. So now frequency 2 is 5865. It was previously something else. So you can just go through those one by one. So there's 3, 4. You can change all of these, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8 don't have anything, so those aren't available. But you can obviously set those if you want. And those are going to be basically preset, so you can quickly access those if you want to change channels very quickly without having to go to the grid. And then you just go to exit to save here, and then that is going to be available to you. If you want to switch these quickly, press the up button on here, 5860, frequency 2 is 5865, then there's 3, 4, and then there's no 5, 6, 7, 8 because I didn't set those. I'm just going to leave it on 5860 because I don't want to change the channel here. Okay, so in order to demonstrate the gesture controls, I have to power the camera off, and when they power back on, you have to activate it via the logo when the logo comes on here. If you You cover the basically cover the camera lens within 2 seconds. It'll activate the feature. If you don't do that within 2 seconds, the logo disappears, then you won't be able to use the gesture feature. It's only active during that portion, so go ahead and power it on. Okay, so go ahead and power up the camera. And we'll wait for the logo. When that's on there, cover up the camera, and you'll see that it says Twilight's flashing, and then you have to, while it's flashing, you can cover up the camera for 1 second, and then you go through and cycle through the different scenes. And if you cover up the lens for 3 seconds, it'll switch over to the power setting here. And I'm actually not going to change that. It actually cycles from 200 to 600. And then if you press the... Oh, yeah, so I've exited out of that mode because I wasn't using the gesture control, so it's left those settings there like that. So I'm going to have to power cycle the camera again. And when the logo is there, I'm going to cover up the camera. I'm going to hold it. Now it's going to the power settings. Keep holding it. Now it's going to the frequency settings. So here I can change that. While it's blinking, I can change the different presets. So it's 3 and 4. And it should go back to 1 there. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. And then back to 1. So then if you just leave it alone, those would blink, and then it should hold that setting, and then it will exit out of the gesture mode. So that's pretty much how it works. So basically you have to just time your the covering up the lens when that logo comes on, 2 seconds to enter the modes, and then 1 second covering up the lens will change the setting for that particular mode, and then hold the camera or hold your hand to cover up the lens for 3 seconds to switch between the different presets, the power levels, and then the preset frequencies on the video transmitter. That's pretty much it. Anyway, it's going to do it for this review of the new FXT gesture control box. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's a little bit tricky to use, but I think that once you kind of learn it, it's not too bad. Could be pretty useful if you want to be able to change your settings really quickly in the field without having to pull out your joystick controller. Yeah, and then also, I almost forgot to mention this, there is going to be a giveaway of this as well, like some of the other things I've been doing with all my vendors. This one is also going to be given away. If you are interested in picking this up for free, FXT will give this one away to one winner. So just down in the comments below, leave one comment only, be a subscriber, make sure your subscriptions are public so I can verify that, and of course like the video, and I will do a drawing probably in about a week, or if this video gets 2,500 views or something like that, I will do the drawing at that point. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.